Hi all, welcome to another video of Angular PrimeNG series. In this video, I am going to explain about PrimeNG Messages. In the previous video, I have already explained about the PrimeNG Toast, that is how to show an overlay messages. This is how to show an inline messages. If you want to show some alerts inline, we can use PrimeNG. These are the some examples of PrimeNG messages. Different severities are there: success, info, warning, error, and also we can add the custom messages. The other option is, if you click on the buttons, we can show the messages, and either by click on the close button or click on the clear button, we can clear all the messages as well. Third option is using message service. Using message service from different places, we will be able to add messages and we can clear messages as well. So this is how we will use. The look wise it will be similar, but the implementation wise it is little different. That's a message service. We can also use the static contents. If you want to implement the HTML also inside this message service, that is also possible. Another option is inline message. The above whatever I have described is messages, and these are inline message. Inline message is used when if you want to use or show some messages inline to some form elements, we can use inline messages. The same way P messages I have shown, it have info, success, warn and error as well. Another option is form layout. This is not specifically related to the PrimeNG messages. This is normally we can do with the PrimeNG different type of PrimeNG errors. We can show the messages as well. So these are the topics I am going to cover in this particular video. Let's go into the code now. So here in the documentation, you can see two types of modules it has been imported. One is messages module and the another one is message module. First I am going to explain about messages module. So first I will copy only messages module and go to the app.module.ts or wherever the module or the HTML you want to use this particular PrimeNG messages, you can import that messages module inside this particular module. Okay, so I am copying this messages module, I am importing in the imports folder. One more thing you have to be imported is, since the messages module supports some animations, you have to import browser animation module as well. So I am importing browser animation modules from Angular platform browser animations, and you can import that also inside the imports module. These are the two things we have to import it. The next thing is like I'm going to do or show some PrimeNG messages on load itself. So in the on load I have to show some messages. How we can do it? Okay, for that I am just declaring a variable called messages1. So that is the first way of doing or showing the messages in PrimeNG. I am using an interface of PrimeNG itself, and it is getting imported from the PrimeNG API, and this contains different options. That means you can give different options as well. So going to the app.component.ts, messages1 message, you can see I have just declared a message with an array, and here I am going to show or override this message with an array containing different type of object. The first one, the severity, we can give success, info, warning, error. Okay, so I am giving success. Then next one is, as I mentioned here, you can give different options. So I am giving the summary as one summary of this particular message. You can give, I'm just giving it as a heading, and if you want you can give the details, else you can skip that. So more detail If you want to show only one message in the array, just give one message alone and save it, and going to the HTML part now. In the HTML, what you have to do is you can go to the PrimeNG Messages. There is always a value, it will accept value, so you have to copy this one and paste it inside the HTML, and in our case the variable name is messages1 and save it. Why we have to give a two-way binding? Because there are some close buttons. So if you want to show, if I want to close it, then this needs to be updated in the HTML also. That's why I'm giving two-way binding here. Okay. So if you go, you can see a success with the green color, whatever heading I have given, summary, and there will be more details, and there will be a close button. So these are the messages I can show. And if you want to show multiple messages in one go, you can see you can create an object with a comma separated value and giving one info and error. So you can see different types of messages. Just assume if you want to show the icon, so this is not the icon you want to show, so you can add those app option as well. So there is an option called icon, and you can give which icon you want to show instead of this error close button. So for example, what I can do is just search for the PrimeNG Icons and take any of the icon here. So just it's a success one, so I am putting the P spinner or whatever the icons it is available here. So why it is not working? We have to use the full class name. It's not only this one, you have to give the full class name. Then you can see that message, that icon has been replaced with our own icon. So this is the different options available. Next option is, just assume if you want to include the HTML instead of this symbol text. Okay, for that I'm just adding const HTML content equal to, either you can put the simple or you can put a single quotes or double quotes, it's up to you. So I am just putting the simple and I am making it as a bold. Why we are putting this symbol? Because there will be a double quotes inside the HTML attribute, something like that. So in order to differentiate, we have to put any of the symbol like this. Okay, bold hello world, and what I will do is HTML content, instead of the summary I will give this HTML content, or maybe we can give in the more detailed section. I'm giving the HTML content like that because already the summary is in the bold state. Okay, so if you check that, it is not getting replaced with this one, so it's still showing text including the B tag. So there is an option called escape. So if you are giving escape as true, what will happen? You can see it doesn't affect anything. So if it is false, you can see hello world is getting bold now. So you have to make sure escape is false if you want to include any HTML in any of the messages. Okay, so this is an option how to include this HTML inside this particular messages. Okay, so another option is, now in the ng on it itself I can show this particular messages. Just assume I want to show the messages inside the add button, and if I have a button called clear, I want to clear all these messages. So how you will do that we can also have a look on it. So this portion I have covered it now. The next one is dynamic. So when you click on the show button and the clear button, how to show the messages and how to clear the messages. This is the second option. It is nothing, but I can, in order to use the button, I have to import button module. So I'm just importing the button module from the PrimeNG, saving it, and I don't want to use the styles or write the styles my own, so I'm just copying these options from here in the HTML. I'm just putting two buttons, so I'm just commenting this now, and I'm just putting two buttons. One is, I'm just removing this ripple things, add message, clear message. Two buttons are there. Okay, saving it, and in the component section I have written two functions. One is add messages and one is clear messages. So I am removing this content also. I'm just commenting out. Then I'm writing add messages, and also I'm writing clear messages. So while click on the add and clear, how to show and how to clear the message. This is our next topic. So I have a variable called messages. So while clicking on that, I can either push it or messages dot push, just putting it a success like this way, and on clear you can clear all the messages. So messages one, if you want to clear one by one, you can click the close button. If you want to clear all the messages together, you can click, just either put an empty array or just remove whatever you want to remove from here, you can remove it. Okay, I'm saving this one, and in order to show the message one here, whatever we have given the same, you have to give values, variable name. Which variable have the value or pushing it, we have to show that. I'm saving it, and you can see there is a two buttons, show. I think it has some issues. Let me see. Messages one dot push is the correct name, add messages and the clear messages. It has some issues. Let me see by clicking the console. Instead of pushing it, what I can do is giving an array like this, and let me try whether it is working fine or not. Actually, logically it should work, but I'm not sure how it is not working. So while adding messages, what you have to do is just add messages like this way, and whatever the messages you want to add, you can add multiple messages together as well. See, click on show, it will show the messages. If you click on clear, it will clear all the messages as well. Okay, next option is, So these are the dynamic option. The third option is using message service. What is message service? What is the use of message service? If you want to use the messages, or if you want to push the messages from multiple components, you can use a message service. Okay, so that is the service provided from the PrimeNG itself. For that, what you can do is, there is a message service needs to be imported from the PrimeNG API. So these are the third option. Okay, so I'm just importing message service also, and I have to inject that message service in the constructor. Private message service, then this message service either needs to be provided in the component level or needs to be provided in the module level. So I'm importing in the component level, I'm saving it, and the next thing is, instead of doing array thing, what you can do is, if you want to add multiple messages, you can give this dot message service dot add all. If you have a multiple or array of elements needs to be shown when the button has been clicked, you have to give or add all. Or if you want to show only one message, you can give an empty you can give an object instead of an array of objects. Okay, and how to clear the messages? Inside this dot message service, there is an option called clear. Save it, clear it. And here, instead of value, you should not give the value if it is a message service. So there is an option called enable service equal to true. You have to give true, save it, and come here, refresh, and click on the show button. These messages are coming using the services. If you clear, that is getting cleared as well. Okay, these are the another option. Using the service, we can implement the messages as well. So if you want to use only one message, either you can give add all, and you can give one object. Other better option is add, remove the array like this, and if you go here and click on the show, you can see clear, it will get cleared. Okay, there is another option also. So if you want to clear only one message, if you give the option called key and give the key option here, and in the HTML also, based on that key, if you want to close it, so you can specify that particular key. So in the Toast, in the Angular PrimeNG Toast, I have explained all about this one. You can go and search for it, and you can implement the same way in the message also, PrimeNG messages as well. So these are the another option available here. Okay, so I have covered a via service also. The other one is static content, that is like an HTML content. I have already covered it. The other simple option is inline messages. Inside the form, if you want to show some message, how we will do it, that also I will cover it now. For that scenario, I don't want these things. I will remove this PrimeNG service. I don't want any message service also will get removed, and I'm removing everything here. And in the app.module.ts, I don't need any button module, I don't need any messages module. Instead, what you can do is, if you want to use message module, simply add message here and add it in the message module also. And nothing you have to do in the app.component.ts. You can directly come here and you can type message, and the severity direct you can give equal to info, then summary. I think it's not the summary, it's I think the text. It is called text in the PrimeNG. If you go to the documentation part here, it's a text, it's not the summary. So just type text, then some text, save it, go to the application. You can see the same way you can give one success and error, save it, and you can see all type of messages. So those portion also covered. I hope you understand everything. If you don't want a text, you can remove the text as well. This is nothing related to the PrimeNG messages, still I can cover that one. So how we can implement a username, and based on that how we have to show a red color here. So I can show the code here. If you go to the source code, you can see they have first implemented a username and there is an input box, and they are clearly mentioning. So what you can do is, like, the class they are mentioning ng invalid and ng dirty. So you don't have to mention in your case. For example, you have to show the error message whenever it is invalid and dirty. Automatically Angular, PrimeNG and Angular added this class to this input element. So only thing you have to give us, when it is in ng invalid and ng dirty, you have to apply a red color to the input box. That you have to write a CSS for that. The CSS maybe won't come by default, but you can check it. At least it is coming by default. I think it is coming by default, but still you can check on it. And if there is any error message, so if you are using a reactive form, or if you are using a forms module using an ng model, whenever you are writing a variable, there is an option called that variable dot error dot it's an ng invalid, it's valid or dirty. In those condition you can put an ng if condition here, and you can show the error message. So this is how we have to do or show a error message for a particular form other than the p message. So this is the topic, or all the I hope everything I have covered as a part of the PrimeNG message.